record on this computer. Excellent. So welcome to the call. I'm Damon Nelson, along with my partner, Wayne Atkinson. And
hi, everyone.
We are doing Geek Out Fridays. This is September 10th, 2021. And hopefully everybody's having a good day. And, thankfully it's not a 9/11 day. We're going to memorialize that tomorrow. But today we are going to be talking about prying eyes. Google has prying eyes. And I have a short slide presentation, and then we're going to do a demo of what we've been working on. And guys, I'm really excited to show it to you. We had a beta team. They had tested it, and we've got a couple of VAs working off of it. And let me just go ahead and start the presentation. Everybody's ready here. Perfect. Got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming in today. Okay. The big problem. If you're trying to build a team of social personas, minions, whatever you want to call them, fake people, to help with your marketing, your products, or your clients, be careful with how you share that database online. Now, I can tell you right now, we've made some, we had some VAs and we shared on what is Google Sheets. So what we discovered, we were using Google Sheets and we discovered that our social accounts were constantly getting verification requests, or worse yet, they were getting banned. In fact, there were 2 accounts that we set up on the Google Sheet and they were banned before we even got into Facebook with them. But that's when Wayne and we started talking about it. We decided we needed to do something radically different than anything that we've ever thought of. And his idea is, let's make a database for it. So instead of just a database, we started asking, what else do we need? What can we do to build our social personas? But more importantly, we want to build them for VAs. Or we want our VAs to be able to use the database to create a perfect lifelike persona that even your mom would love. So, Wayne is our automator, is our marketing professional. And he said, well, we can build everything all in one SaaS application. So we created to help our VA team create these lifelike personas. At the same time, we wanted to hide the profiles from Google and all the other social platforms. So we took them out of Google Sheets, and we have no Google relationships whatsoever, but we created a database. Now we have access to hundreds of unique social personas that we can create in less than 10 seconds. And they can be used for any purpose that you want. Right now, we're building masher sites. So we're building personas to go into the masher sites as the authors of these articles. And by doing this is we have a complete database where we can save the login information. We can put any persona information, and I'm excited to show it to you. Now, our beta team, they've already seen it. In fact, some of them are on the call today. But if you'll stick with us to the very end, we're going to make you a very special offer because you are a part of our team, our Geek Out Fridays, and it's going to be a very limited coupon code that we're going to give you. So just hang with us. Wayne, are you ready to share your screen and demo the product?
I am indeed.
I flashed it, but I didn't mean to. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and it's coming over to you.
Okie dokie. There we go. So you should be able to see the login screen.
Yep.
Excellent. So hi guys. As you can see, we've got our own SaaS-based tool, which David was talking about, and this is the login area. And I'm going to just log in, and we'll be presented with the tools. And as you can see, it's got the familiar look if you're used to RSSmasher and masher sites, control panel, and all this. We keep things similar so that you know the way that we think, and then you'll know where things are. So the whole idea is we can create we like to call them real fake people, which is kind of funny. But they aren't real, obviously, but they look so good. That's where we came up with that phrase, really. So the whole idea is you click a button, you decide where you want the minion to be, and we can search from our database of hundreds of thousands of already built personas, you could say, that you can then use and change and edit at your wish. So, for example, let's say we have got creating a new site, and I need an author for that site, for the social accounts, etc., all to go in, but you don't want to use yourself. You obviously want to use a minion. So we go to our first menu there, create minion. And here you've got the option. We've got the name set, which is American. We've got England, Wales, Australian, German, Italian, French, Scottish, and Norwegian. Most of us are using maybe the top 3, 4. So if I was going to create someone who's American, and the country they reside in is, we've got pre-built, we've got United States or Canada, so I'm going to pick United States. So I'm looking for someone who's American who lives in the US. Now you can pick male or female. So in this instance, I shall be looking for male. And then we've got 2 sliders where we can say, well, what's the age range you want me to go and find some people? So in the database at the moment, we've got from 19 to 68. So I'll just narrow that down to about 25 to 58, for example. Then you simply click on filter. And what it's done is it's gone into our database and it's pulled out the 5 people that match that criteria. And you can, if you like the name Alexander Garcia from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then you highlight it and you can simply copy it to your account. Or if you like all 5, you can copy all of them. Or you can just simply click and copy that one and then copy that one. It's completely up to you. If you don't like the look of them, you can click filter again and it will go and put them back and it will get you 5 different ones. And you can keep pressing this for as long as you want to keep sitting here doing nothing but press the button, because there's lots and lots of different people. But let's say you like George Mackey and he is from Ohio. So you highlight that one and then we've basically got groups set up, which I'll go over after. You can set up some groups and some statuses, and you can decide at this point which group and which status you want to put them in. So I've got some status. You can create these yourself. You can create your own kind of status, which is in these menus here. And we've got groups. So I'm just going to leave this as new, and it's got no group whatsoever. So I'm going to click copy selected minion. And that's as quick as it takes. It's gone. You can see there's only 4 left in the list. So that is now in My Minions, which is here, My Minions. So all of your minions that you build will be sitting in My Minions. So if I click on My Minions, you will see it's going to list out some of the ones that I've been working on. And that particular one will be at the very end. We can search for it in these columns. If you know what status it is, if you know what the first name was, or the last name was, or the gender, you can put them in there and it will filter the list. But we know it's at the end, so I'll go to the end, and there it is. George Mackey, who's male, 55 in the United States. And it gives us a demonstration email address as well, which doesn't go anywhere, but that's an indication that you need to change it when you've built your own email address. And there's no image at the moment. So if we edit this record, then at the top, you'll always see the name, and the current phone and the email address that you've got to assign. But all the information that we've built for you is all here. So male is American, his name George, he's got a middle initial, surname's Mackey, he lives in Olive Street, Ohio, etc. Zip code, the lot. Company, Starship Tapes and Records. Obviously, all these are changeable. So you can just type in, if you don't like the occupation of being a library assistant, you can say he is a marketing manager. And that's it, you've changed it. And the website domain, let's say you're building a Masher site called topmarketing.com, for just example. So in there you could put topmarketing.com. And there you've got that stored, and you've got his occupation stored, and the company. If he's not a blogger, you could say, like, you might create a persona who is working for a main company. He's got a proper job, for example, as people call it, in inverted commas. But in his spare time, he's a blogger. So you could put the company that he works for, but you could say his occupation was part-time blogger, or it's completely up to you. But we're filling all these in for you to give you a good head start. So the company, I'm going to say that he does actually work for Top Marketing. So in there, I'm going to put Top Marketing. Now, email and the provider and the password is all reminders for you, so that you really should have an actual email address. And for those of you that are using Masher sites, you know that you can press one button and create an email on your domain, which you could then put in there. So a good example would be something like his name is George Mackey. So you could create, if you've got that domain plugged in, you could have George Mackey at topmarketing.com.
Well, you can go ahead and add a college too while you're at it.
There's college. Can you think of a good one in Ohio, being as I'm in the UK? I'm not
Ohio
up to
State.
speed.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Buckeyes, but you're not going to put Buckeyes.
No. Okay, and if you did have a Gmail, for example, or Yahoo, you could put the domain provider in there and the password for you to remind you of that particular main email address. Telephone number, the telephone number that you are using, obviously you would need your actual number that we do show you how to do that in the 6-week course that we've got. But if you've got something else that's working for you and you can get codes back from Twitter and all those kind of things, you can put that number in there, and that stores that phone number so that you don't have to think twice. Once you've got multiple minions built, it's hard to keep track of, now, which phone number did I use for this one, or did I share this number with it? That's all taken care of. We've also got a nice little place for social accounts, which we'll come to. Now, further down, we can actually build a persona so that you can just copy and paste it and drop it into social accounts. So we've got a niche that you can choose, and we colored them because the black ones are personal and the blue ones are corporate. So let's say we wanted bloggers as good as anything. You can just click on build bios, and what it does is it creates some text for you, but it also fills it in with, if it needs a company, it will take the company that we've put. If it needs an occupation, it will take from the information we've put above. So if we open up this, we can see that we've got learn more about me. I am a BuzzFeed writer and marketing manager who lives near Newark, Ohio. And you'll see that that was up here. There you go. I graduated from Ohio State, which is what we put there. with a journalism degree and currently work for Top Marketing, which we put up there. My pug Daisy is my best friend. I also love to travel with him and to watch college football. Go Irish. Ask us if you need to know more. I quite like that. That's really good. And if you like it, you can click lock bio, and that effectively freezes that so that it won't get overwritten. So that's the personal first bio. And then we've got a third person. So it talks about George Mackey, a top marketing manager, etc. So you can see that this is like me talking, and this is someone else talking about me. That's quite good as well. So I'll lock that one in. And by locking them is then, if you don't like them, you can click build bios again, and it won't change the ones that have been locked. So now we can pick a corporate one. So marketing agency, we click build bios, and you'll see it's done a corporate one. So top marketing helps local businesses to be found online, a team of design. And if you didn't like that one, you could just click it again and it will rewrite it. And if you click it again, it keeps doing that until you think, oh, that's a good one. Or you can obviously type in what you wish, or you can modify it to your heart's content. So I shall lock those three in. I'm quite happy with those.
Now, guys, the reason for the bios are one of the things that you would put in on any of your social accounts to make it look and sound real. We did this. We got a bunch of spin variations. Just spin it through, change it, lock it in, and use them. We wanted to make a no-brainer activity for creating minions. This is a big step on Minions, is to have a bio that matches up to your personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you'll see that this, when we first created him, he was 55. If you thought, oh, I really wanted him to be maybe a bit younger, then if you drop down the date of birth, you can see it's got 1965. And then if you press the end ones, change, that makes him older. And then if you go that way, it makes him younger. So let's say he was born in 72 on the 16th of August. You'll see it's automatically changed the age to 49. It does also work out the zodiac sign. So if I'd have changed the month, say 16th of June instead, you see he's a Gemini now, which is my attention to detail. But hey, that's really good, because if you want to just copy that and put it somewhere and someone says, you're not a Gemini, you were born in the wrong month. Well, it's a good job that we change it. Now, if you're using anything that needs a proxy because you want to hide where you are, then obviously you can put the proxy in there. And if for example, let's say your proxy was 12.234.5.67, then that information, when we save, will be up here all the time next time you view, once we've updated. And then on every tab that you look at, you'll see the main information up here. So now we come to some really fun stuff, because what does this guy look like? Well, he's 49 and he's a marketing guy. So, I don't know. So we click get photo, and this uses artificial intelligence to create somebody that doesn't exist in the world anywhere. And it uses techniques of thousands and thousands and thousands, probably millions of photos of people, and it takes elements from people and puts them together to create someone that doesn't really exist. It's kind of freaky, but really, really cool. So we just press the button and it will pick anybody. And I'm thinking, well, that's pretty good. He probably doesn't look 49 now. He probably looks about 38. So I'm going to use that picture. And you think, so you can just change the date to match. You think, oh, but then again, I'll just press it again, see what else I get. And there you go. You've got a woman. So that doesn't work in this example. And oh, it's got a nice background. That's perfect. It's full on. It's nice to get one that's straight looking at the camera. And does he look about 49? He probably looks about 42. So we'll say that he was born in 76. And that makes him 45. Of course it does. 43, that'll do. So if you like that picture, you lock the photo. And what that does is, because if you accidentally come in and you press the button again, you've potentially lost that image forever, because it would never come back because of the massively amount of randomization that's used. You would lose it. So we lock it in, and then that takes that button away so that you can't overwrite it again. And then at any time, you can just click update to save this information, and it's saved. But what that's done is that's copied that image and it's moved it across. We've got a tab, which we'll come to shortly, called images. And that's where the images will be, and we'll show you something really good shortly in that tab. So if you've got groups, you can select groups, and then we have decided that what I tend to do, which is different from what you might and different from what Damon does, is I group people by what website I'm building. So in this example, he works for Top Marketing. So I'm going to create a group called Top Marketing. And you can add it right here and now, and it's added it. And then we can select it from the list to be at the bottom. And that's him now in that group. Perfect. And the status, you can create any status. So you might have things like new, or you might have completed. You might have, we'll tell you what I do is I've created things like, he's got no email and no phone just yet. So that tells me I've got to go and set them up. Or it might be no email because I've done the phone, or it might be no phone because I've done the email, or he's complete, or he's a Masher site owner, or a website owner, a WordPress site owner. So in this instance, I'm going to set him up as no email, no phone, just to remind me that I need to go and get those and do that. And click update. And you can see it didn't take very long, and I was actually explaining what I was doing at the same time. So we've now got a minion called George Mackey. He's at that email address. Obviously, that email address has got to be created. He's in Top Marketing Group. That's his phone, and he's got an IP. But we know that phone was demonstrational phone at the moment. So tab 2 is other details.
Wayne,
yep.
Before you go on, good question is, we put the software will put a demo phone number in there.
It will. And
when you're adding the phone numbers, this is real important that you control the phone numbers. If you're building minions, I can't stress this enough. You have to have phone numbers to match up to them. So make sure that, when you're getting these guys ready, that you put the correct phone number in there. And proxy when you're using, a Browsio or Session Splitter or one of these proxy services.
Yeah, phone numbers in our experience, really, we found that real SIMs are the way to go. So just get a real phone number, and no one can take that away from you. I mean, Google Voice may or may not, it doesn't work for me because I'm in the UK, so I have to do a different thing. But is that still an option, Damon?
No. Google Voice, it works on, sometimes it works on Twitter, but it never works on Facebook verifications.
There you go. Which is why we shy away, and we use actual SIM cards now to get the real phone numbers in. Yep. And this is why, another reason why we don't use for the real main email account, we don't use a Yahoo or a Gmail, because if you lose that, let's say you do something crazy or something really goes mental and Google says, oh, I'm taking that account away from you, or you can't get in because you can't verify it for some reason, then if that email is the one that's controlling all your social accounts, then potentially you've lost all those as well. So if you use an actual email on a domain that you own, no one can take that away. But more about the strategy and
yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead and finish the demo here.
So now we've got demonstration username. If you're trying to think of something that needs to be filled in as a username, mother's maiden name's been invented for you, national ID, a vehicle that you might drive, the blood type. I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, if you think that is too heavy for this person, you can change it and say use 210, and you'll notice that it will alter the kilograms for you. And also, if you say that he's not 6'1", but he's 5'8", it will change the centimeters as well, and vice versa. If you change the centimeters, it will change the feet and inches. That long, why not, if we can create it. And then we've got, if you're using other tools, there's a tool that we spoke about before called Scene Creator. You can put the email and password in there. Google Voice, if you did use it, you could put it in there. And then if you want to say that he's got a girlfriend or he's married, you could put her name in there. So if she was named Janet, you'd put that in there. And children's names, etc., and hobbies. And all this information you can just create yourself on the fly. And then when you're filling in other tools or you're in groups and you're talking about things, you don't have to remember, oh, what did I say now? Or what was the child's name that I thought of? You just go into your Minion Builders and you'll see that he's got a child called Jack, for example. And it's just there all the time, ready for you to look for. Hobbies, you can fill in, social pages, regularly visited, things like Twitter, etc.
The more details that you can put in on your person, the more real you will think they are, and that other people will think they are. So if you always have the spouse name, the children, you talk about hobbies, you talk about pages they visit, this really builds a customer avatar, and we'll talk about that later. It's a bonus that we have on here, but you want to fill in as much detail as you can, because really when you're creating these, all this detail really plays into how you engage with your audience and what things that you say. You know, if you're a cyclist, you know, you would maybe be liking some cycling groups or pages inside of Facebook, and the same for Reddit. So you would kind of try to use your profile setup to know what type of pages you're going to like, where you're going to visit. And it really does help out over the long term to develop this into a real fake person, as we say.
And if you've noticed, every field has got these little copy buttons. So if you wanted to, for example, you was in Twitter or something and you wanted his copy his name or your state, or you just like United States or topmarketing.com, you just click that button and it automatically highlights him, puts it in the clipboard for him for any of the fields.
Yep.
So all these have got like a massive value to this. This one in the middle, this is, I visit this one quite a lot, because this is where you can store all the social accounts that you create. And if you click on add, you can add a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, a Snapchat, a YouTube, etc. And you can see we've got quite a lot in there. So if we go and create a Google account for George Mackey, we would go to Google, and then we'd put the social account URL in there, the username, the email we used. So the email we used would probably be that one, top marketing one. And then the password, and I'll just put password for now. And then the verification phone. So the phone that you used to open this account, the number would go in there. We default it to the one that you've got up there, which is probably the one that you'll use all the time. But let's say, for example, you can add so many people to one phone number. Like there's a certain amount you can add, say, on a Twitter account, or if you go over or something, and for some reason you might have to change the phone number, then that's why we put phone number down in this level, because you could have a different phone number for the Google account, which is different from the one that you use from the Twitter or the Instagram, for example. So complete control. We default the main one, but if you need to change it, then you can. For example, just overtype it. And then the social status is active, need verification, it's been banned or other. So you just say active, and then we click update. Simple as. There it is. And the passwords all starred. So if you're showing anybody, they haven't got to see your passwords. And if you want to, you just click reveal passwords and they all appear. So add in a Twitter, you create the Twitter, and then you'd store the information in here. That would be twitter.com/, and that's, if we were lucky, we would get George Mackey. Probably wouldn't get that, but we might get George Mackey TM for top marketing, for example. And then his username would be that. Password would be, I'll just put 1234 for now. But you get the idea. As soon as you open the actual real social account, you would put the information in here, and the email that we used would be this one. And that one's active as well. We click update. And so on and so on. So then when you actually open a new tab and you're filling in, let's say you need to log into George now because you've logged out of a different one. You can then log into George and it'll say, what's the password? And you come back into here and you go, oh, there's the password. Oh, what? And then if it wants you to do a verification, can you prove you're human? Can you retype in your phone number, or you're going to get a code? It's all, everything's here so that you can just go, yeah. Because sometimes they say, what can you fill in the gaps for your phone number? It ends in 4316. So you'll be able to type in 419379, for example. So it's all in here. So now we click on this one called images. And you'll see that when we was over in the main tab and we locked that photo in, this photo came over here. It was automatically stored in our S3 storage that we've created for everyone to use. It even created a QR code. And if you open, if anybody's got a phone on them, you can open the camera and highlight that while it's on the screen, and it will actually take you to that image. So if we click that image, there's the image. It's basically stored externally in a safe place so that you can copy it, move it, add it to social, do what you want with, without having to download it first and then re-upload it and all that kind of stuff. So that's why we've done that. Really, really good. But you'll notice there's lots and lots of controls underneath. Now, the idea is so that we can have some fun and also create some different images to make the person look real, but very quickly. So if, for example, you if you click on sad, it will take that image and it will, you can see down here, it's having a think about it, and it will generate one that's made him look a bit sad because he's now got a frown. So we'll store that one, it's quite good. There you go. Now we've got 2. It's automatically stored it as well on Amazon in the S3, and it's created a QR code, and it's of type sad. Oh. And we've got smile, surprise, troll, grotesque. We've got mirror effect. So if we can highlight that, you can click mirror effect, and it will flip it for you. So it doesn't look that much different, but it is actually a mirrored effect of that person. So it's another bit of randomization that you can do to the image. I mean, if we click on show examples, you'll see the kind of things that we can do. But you'll see that then below, we've got ones that say pro image. This is where we will use credits, because this is using a lot more technology that we've got, and it uses credits. But you can see what it does. There's the original, and we can click one called Toonify, and it turns you into a toon, which is quite nice. We've got Emojify, where it turns you into like an emoji character. And this caricature one is really good. I mean, there's the one guy, and there's the caricature version of him. We've got Zombify, which turns you into a zombie. And we've got Halloween, which is a bit of a scary one there, which is quite good. And then we've got a remove background, so we can take that background away. So let me show you some of these. So if we've highlighted this one, so let's do a Toonify. So it's passed. There we go. So it's passed it to the AI that we've got. And that's pretty cool, to be fair. Look at that. Really good. So we'll store that. That's nice.
Now, before you go on,
yep,
the whole reason for doing these profile images is to make you're taking one image that's completely unique, and you're creating multiple images that you can use as profiles. One of the things that we've discovered over time is if you change your profile images frequently, like maybe once or twice a month, there's less chance of getting a re-verification. And this is a completely different image and look. It would almost be hard for any, especially a robot, to determine that these were the exact same images. So yeah, go ahead and show them the caricature. I think that's probably one of the best ones to use.
Yeah, caricature. Brilliant.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
So we'll store that one. You've got to remember, I mean, it only takes seconds, but it is converting it. It is storing it to the S3, and it is creating a QR code all on the fly. And we're on a Zoom, and you know, etc. But it didn't take long, but it's done all that for you. So, I mean, that link is now live, and there's the picture.
That's amazing.
And there's the original there.
So what I would suggest is use a smile or something from the profile image, create a smile first, and then caricature the smile.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see what a smile looks like on the original.
There's the profile picture. So we'll do a smile.
Yeah, it kind of looks dorky.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if you don't like it, you just don't click store, and it'll just go away.
Let's hit surprise. Let's see what we got there.
Surprise.
So y'all
kind
just
of,
play around with this if you've got the software, and you want to generate these profiles and then save them. Okay, that one looks okay.
yeah.
Do one of the goofy ones like the Zombify or Halloweenify from.
Just store that one. Zombify.
Yeah. You can see we're kind of using a little bit of the credits, but you're going to get plenty of credits on this special that we have coming up for you here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So when would you use this? Well, it's probably very limited, maybe a week before Halloween or a week after Halloween.
Yeah.
But when you post something up like this as your profile, you're going to have people engaging with you, saying, hey, I like your profile, or that's a scary profile, or whatever image you have up there. And this is free engagement, and it gives you the opportunity to talk. And besides just promoting products, you want to be social. That's the whole part of social media marketing. And by having different personas that you created all from one single image. And let's do one more thing before we move on. Take the, let's go to the mirrored effect, which.
I've done the mirror. It was,
okay, yeah.
That one.
Highlight the mirror effect and just remove the background. Now, what this is, because we chose an image that has kind of a diffused light colored background, it should be fairly easy to do a cut with the Pro Image editor here. But if you see that it's not, it's because you have a dark image with a dark outline of the person. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty decent.
Yeah, if the AI has picked something he's got black hair and the background's black, then you might want to choose another one. But this one, look at that. It's done a brilliant job.
Now it's going to save it as a PNG. This is the only one that you can add backgrounds on, is the one that you remove the background.
Yeah.
So we're going to save it first, and then we're going to go in and add a background to it, and then save it, and it will save it as a JPEG when you add a background.
There we go. So if we go to page 2, you can see all the new ones we've created. And there's the one, and it's got remove background written on it. So we highlight that one. But now we've got some pre-built ones, and you can choose different backgrounds. You can upload your own if you wish, and you can change it to that. So if we just pick blue, purple orbs flare and click on change background, you'll see that it's added that now to the back of that, which looks really good. And you click store image. So now you've got that one. So we've very quickly, and had some fun at the same time, made 9 different images of a person that doesn't exist, which is really good. And that can be a profile picture. In fact, any of them can be profile pictures. And that was the original. So you can see the power of what we've built here and what it can do for you. So should we go into Avatar Maker?
Yep, this is one of the bonuses here that we've got added.
So Avatar Maker, the idea of this is it's now pulled in the information from the other tabs. So his name is there, can't change it because it's pulled in from the main details, the other details. If you want to change it, obviously you go back into there and change it. But by the time you've got to this point, the guy's already pretty much fixed. But we've got lots of other different fields for you to fill in. And we've created some demonstration text in the example. You can see that these fields have got tooltips, and like communication preference has got an example here. But the idea of this is so that not only is he a minion, but he can also be an avatar for a product offer that you're building. You want to create a marketing avatar persona, so that you can work off and do your marketing based on the information. Now, the type of person that you're trying to target. So if you think, well, I need a married man, so married, does he have children? Yes. 2 children. Level of education, I'll put MBA. What's the income level? 75,000 a year. I'm going to say 55,000. Yeah. And the stage of life, empty nester in last 2 years is an example. You can put whatever you wish in there. I wouldn't say empty nest if he's got 2 children. But
Yeah, I'd say parent with
Yeah.
2 kids in
parent, 2 children in high school.
Okay, now let me take a step backwards here.
Yep.
An avatar maker is a customer avatar maker is used by large marketing agencies, small marketing agencies, to have a persona, have a picture of that perfect customer. Now, they may have multiple customers that are perfect. We have a persona of a customer that we sell to. And when you fill in all these details and you're able to print it out, share it with your team, you really do have a good idea of who your customer is. Your emails get better, your marketing gets better, your sales copy gets better because you're writing to a specific person instead of just a general audience. And when you write to a specific person, if that's your ideal customer, what happens is the person reading that says, they're talking directly to me. This affects me. So this, if you're doing any type of marketing, I would encourage you to use Minion Builders to create an avatar for your own business. And guess what, guys? You can sell this avatar. You can do this for your clients. Build them an avatar based on research and answering these questions. And how do you find out this stuff? Well, go to Facebook, start looking at what their customers are, and you can do a lot of deep dives into Facebook. I've got some training on that that I'll share with y'all later inside the Minion Builders course. But it's, if you'll spend a couple of hours defining what your perfect customer, your emails will get so much more response, engagement, especially your Facebook post. Now, this is real easy to write to. This guy has kids in high school. He takes holidays twice per year. He has 1 dog. How are you going to talk to him? Well, he prefers phone calls over Facebook groups, or you just kind of read through this and you will know your customer inside and out when you can fill in all this detail and you see it on a regular basis. So anytime you start writing copy or a Facebook ad or a Google ad, pull this avatar sheet out. Now, Wayne, without spending all this time on here, is how would do you have one that's fully fleshed out that we can see?
I've got one in the test system, I think. So that's why I was just filling this guy in.
Okay.
Organized. I just put honest. And then in fact, we could probably skip. You get the idea. I mean, at the bottom there, we've got some new sliders. You can say introvert to extrovert. So is he introverted or extroverted, or is he midway? Is he passive or active? So you can say he's probably more passive than active. Analytical or creative? Well, he's very creative. Loyal and friendly. Midway. And then we click update. That's all saved. And as soon as it's clicked, we get the possibility to print this out. So we've got the persona maker, show report. So this is the kind of thing that you would print. You can actually export it. You can print it. You can save it, export it as PDF. Do whatever you want with it, really. And then basically it's all in a nice little 2 sheets or 3 sheets, depending on how much information you've got. Next page is up there. How can we help? To blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. But we've also got some infographics, which we've been given some code names for now because they're so new. And when you click on these, it gives you a little bit of a rundown in a summary kind of infographic. And we've got a few different ones. We've got some that actually use those sliders as well. Look there, you can see it's built it based on how I set the sliders, which is quite nice. I'll just show one more. And there's a different kind of look. And if we'd filled in the goals and the frustrations, that would be filled in as well. And then this is very like so easy to look at and go, oh, he's quite introverted, he's a bit passive, or he's more creative and analytical, you know, that kind of thing. So really, really, really good.
Yeah, and when these are fully fleshed out, you have a really good idea what your ideal customer looks like. When are you done? Or are you flipping over to your?
I'm just going to get to the test. Quickly get in.
Any questions at this point?
I think there's a few.
Scott Rogers asked a good question. Can we plug this into Jarvis to write from his perspective? I don't know if you would write from his perspective, but you could, use the content improver to kind of tweak his goals and frustrations. Scott, we will probably do a Geek Out Friday. I know one's coming up where I'm going to show you how to use phrase and conversion AI together. And I've discovered some things. In fact, I know right now that one of the things I've done in conversion AI has probably raised about $5,000 in sales. And we're using conversion AI different from a lot of people. But if you took all this and you started massaging the hobbies, the goals and frustrations, you can sell customer avatars. You can sell minions, but companies are looking for, how do you define a perfect customer avatar? Well, there's research tools out there, very easy, and they're free. They're on Facebook and on Twitter profiles, and also using Google keyword search. We'll put together a little course on this, is how do you build your avatar? But anytime you want to know how to build an avatar, just go to Google search and type in customer avatar. And there's a lot of training on how to do this. And that's the reason is people get paid for this, to do these. Yep.
Okay, here's one called Mark Keegan. And the information's all filled in. So goals is quickly publish content to blog pages, easily measure content effectiveness, etc. Next page.
I have to say, I think we were talking about Scott Rogers at the time because he's a wood carver.
Yeah. So there's the information all filled out, and then you can see one of the infographics where the goals is filled in, the frustrations is filled in, and the the little charts that we've got. So there you go. that's how to create a minion and an avatar all in one little shot.
Okay, before we leave, let's hop back in here. We talked about, I want to show them the one thing this is the big bonus here, is let's say you've spent all this time, you got social accounts built, you got all this information filled out on avatars, and you've got a little bit of time invested. Our VAs will have a little bit of time invested. What if somebody said, hey, I want to buy an avatar, I want to buy a minion from you? This is the reason we're building this, is we are hiring VAs down the road. It's not going to be tomorrow, but we're hiring VAs to build social accounts, and real social accounts that have a real phone number, a real proxy, real emails that they're being engaged with. Now we're going to be using Session Splitter, but all the details of the account creation are going to be in this database. So when we get ready to sell a minion, we're going to be able to transfer George Mackey to another Minionbuilder. So somebody with another Minionbuilder account, we can move George Mackey. It takes it out of our account and moves it to somebody else's account. Now, we have training on how that's done, but it's real simple. We have a little button called Minion Transfer.
You see, basically you create, we've done it so that you can't just push anything to anyone. You've got to have permission.
Yep.
So you click on My Creator Key, and that will show you a code, and you can click it to change it. But basically that key, it tells you here, pass this key to other Minionbuilder members so that they can add you as a creator. So I could pass this to Damon, and Damon would put that code into his account, and that would give me permission to send him a minion that I've built in my account, and it would just pass it over to his. I would no longer have it, and it would belong to Damon. So Damon would go into add a creator, and he would put the code up there and click add, and then the system would know that it's a real code, and it would know that it belongs to me, and he would have me listed as a creator in his account. And then once that's done, you go into My Minions, and you'll see at the bottom, in fact, I'll show you on the test account, so I haven't set anybody up in the live. You'll see at the bottom, My Minions, you get a drop down, and that drop down is the people that you're allowed to push it to. So you can see I've only got Tom Smith, because Tom Smith's the only person that's put my code into his account. So I could just highlight Mark Keegan and select Tom, click the button, it says, are you sure? And I go, yes. And it takes it from me. It takes everything, all the images, all the social accounts, everything will be sent to Tom Smith's account. So obviously you've had an agreement with Tom, and you say, oh, I'm ready to send you a minion, and it'll be over in seconds. Effectively, as soon as you press that button, it will be in his account.
Yep. So you would want to, you're probably going to transfer a phone number, or sell them a SIM card to go with it. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. But imagine if you or your VA has, let's say, 20 hours developing out Kathleen Knight, full detail. She's got a Facebook, a Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn profile. You've even made a customer avatar, and so you got 20 hours tied up in it. Guys, that's if over time, that's worth some money, especially if you're doing a regular engagement with like Social Bee or Hootsuite, and you're pushing into the socials, and she's going in, liking, sharing. You could get, me personally, I wouldn't sell anything. I wouldn't sell a minion that we've got that much time in for anything less than probably $1,000. I mean, it's a real fake person. That's what this whole entire database is to build, is real fake people that get likes, shares, engagements. They can even be influencers. and to keep it private from everybody else. So we're right at the top of the hour. Wayne, let me take over the screen share.
Okay. I mean, obviously, just before, obviously, there's more menus. You know, you can manage your groups, you can manage your statuses, you can see how much you've burnt on the credit, etc., etc.
Okay.
So I'll pass it over.
Okay. And okay, so we feel like we got a good solution. We got a good database. And I'll tell you something that it kind of makes me feel good is if I need to create a persona, I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to go, well, how old are they? Where are they from? I need to find a good address. I need to, you know, you start thinking, I need a, and all this, and then eventually you talk yourself out of building one. Well, we build them in 10 seconds or less. So let's go over, it's called minionbuilders.com. If you use this code, it's going to be good for 72 hours. It's Geek Out Fridays, so GOF 50, 50% off. I'm going to hop over to the site, and we're just going to go right through the sales page. I made this sales page for webinars. You can get instant access, but here's what you get. Summary, you can build instant profiles, perfect Minion photos. We love this part. It's a database. It is a secure database. Nobody can see except for you. We do have team management, so you can actually bring in VAs, assign them to a group, or let them manage the entire process. You can create profiles to sell. Guys, if you're doing this for a business, always keep this in mind. If somebody wants to buy your profile, you can either export it in a CSV, or they can, if they have a Minionbuilder account, they can just transfer it over to them. You got your profile pics. We didn't show you, but it has a built-in image editor where you can add, you can do filters, or you can add text. You can even put their name on the image. You can do a lot of things with the little built-in image editor. You can export it to a CSV, and we have groups and statuses, so you can kind of keep everything organized. Of course, you can kind of read through all this yourself, but we built it for our VAs. In fact, some of y'all are already in here as testimonials. So anyway, I'll just kind of scroll down here. Bonuses, the customer avatar maker. Now, Wayne and I, we've been buying marketing products forever. And guys, how many of y'all actually use all the crappy bonuses you get on JVZoo? I mean, sometimes there's some good training in there. Most of the time it's just junk that they all put together. Their bonuses are 2-3 years old. We build bonuses that work in the product. So you're going to get the customer avatar maker. We're going to sell this separately as an OTO when we go to JVZoo in a couple months. The QR code creator is going to be an OTO on JVZoo. So you're going to get all this in each of the accounts. You're going to have the Minion Transfer feature. This to me is how you make money building minions. Is they have to have their own Minionbuilder account. You send them to minionbuilders.com, let them buy whatever they want. And the buyer is going to pay you in PayPal. Then once you're happy with that, you transfer the Minion, and it's just a single click. Here's some more. Okay, so we have a standard package, we have a professional, we have an agency. This is probably going to be the most popular because it's a good size package, but you get 20 minions. You can build up to 20 minions on the standard. If you transfer one out, you would have one more credit you could add in there. Or you can delete them if you don't want them, but you can have 20 active minions. Images, you can have up to 10 images for each of the minions. Social accounts, you can have up to 5 social accounts for each minion, and this is on the standard. So you're going to be able to tunify, image editor, you got team management, and you're going to get 200 image credits with the software. Now, Wayne, what does it cost for 100 credits?
100 credits is, which is written on there. In fact, the smallest you can buy is 200, which is $7.
Yep.
Or you can buy 500 for $15.
Yeah. So you can add credits fairly easy. You can add them from the dashboard. So anyway, this is a one-time purchase. Never have to purchase it again. Use the GOF 50, and it's going to be half of this price. The professional is $297. This is probably what most people are going to be buying. You get 50 minions, images, you got plenty of images, social accounts, Tunify, everything, but you get 1,000 image credits. But we did a 6-week course that has exactly step-by-step everything that we use, all the tools we use to build minions. The only thing we didn't have was this database. So when we were doing this, I was showing you Google Sheets. That's how we discovered our error there. But we talk about SIM cards. We talk about how to build the right images, how to do engagement. Anything that we use to build our minions is in this boot camp. So you get this course, and we originally sold it for $397. It was 6 weeks long, very mastermind, I would say advanced user training, but it's a great training course. And then if you want the agency, you don't even want to worry about your minions, how many you create, how many you build. Get this one. It's unlimited minions. You get 100 images. I don't think you'll ever have more than need for 100, but you can also import images. So if you wanted to import some profile images, you could do that too. You can do it with all these accounts, but the most is 100 for this one, 50 for this one, 10. So you get all this, and we put this import. This is kind of an advanced feature. It's because there's so many data fields to come across that it is just for agency use. It's so easy to build them. That's why, we don't have an import feature on this. So anyway, pick out which one you want. We do have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If for any reason whatsoever you don't like this, you want your money back, I'm sure, there's always going to be a refund. Somebody found I knew I left one grammar mistake in here, so somebody would find it. They did. Thank you. Thank you, Walt. Perfect. So what is the satisfaction guarantee? No questions asked. The biggest question we're going to get people asking, does this build the actual social account? No, it does not. We never will do this for you. This is the part that you do. This is the manual labor that it takes to build a social account correctly. There are Autobots that build accounts. If you spend any money, you're just wasting your money. I've been building minions, personas. In fact, I taught a course in 2015 called Bid Minions, and I was using Autobots. There's not a single account that still exists that I used an Autobot. The accounts that I still use are the ones that I manually created, and I do some type of social engagement with my automation posting tools, my content schedulers. So I would recommend, if somebody's selling you an Autobot to create social accounts, just run. Just close that page out. Okay, how long does it take? We did them fairly quick. Wayne was kind of explaining things along the way, so it took almost 5 minutes to create one with a profile and bios, but you can do these in less than a minute. In fact, the longest is just picking the right photo. And like we found a really good photo really quickly with a light background, dark hair cutouts. Makes it real easy to remove the background and to do a mirror image and all that. So I hope everybody on the call, if you don't have this, it's definitely worth having a database to save your social minions. And we've got a pretty good deal right now. Is GOF 50 will get you 50% off on it. Okay. So any questions we can take on?
Oh. I know Steve Bailey said that the training was excellent because he was on it live.
Yeah. And Steve's session splitter it's similar to what Browsio is. We talked about session splitter. In fact, there's a whole session in the boot camp about session splitter. It's basically, it allows you to put proxies in there and manage them from, they're not Google Chrome instances. I forgot what, I think they're like, they're using an instance that is not being tracked. And you can set up all types of different privacy on each of the browser sessions. But the beauty about Session Splitter is you can open up one for this George Mackey. You can create his Facebook, his Twitter, his Instagram. And then once you're done, you just close that session, and anytime in the future you open that session, all those accounts will open back up. It's pretty neat little tool. Yep. And there's not a lot of manual entry. I mean, you have to log in just like you would on Chrome and log into your accounts. So it basically is, you just log into the account or open up a tab and start opening up your accounts with each session. Okay. Yeah, guys, this is exciting stuff, because if you've ever created minions and you've ever started getting verifications, and then verifications turn into getting your accounts banned, think of all the time and effort that you put in to create these accounts. And if they start getting banned and you got 20 to 50 hours of account creation, that's time wasted. Time you'll never get back in your life. And that's why we have this private database to store everything. Yep. What other questions? Guillermo, you asked a good question. The question was, how can Minions help us to promote our website aside from posting a link? Can you generate interactions with or for your Minions? We use RSSmasher to syndicate content to our different Twitter accounts, our different Tumblr accounts, blogger accounts. I send mine out to Zapier, and then Zapier goes out to Social Bee, and then it goes into Facebook groups, Facebook pages. We get traffic back. I would say 70, 80% of our traffic some days on post are from these social interactions. And if you automate it with RSSmasher, it's almost like you're going there and posting each post you do. So yeah, this is how we get traffic to our site, is through our Minion accounts. Dennis, I think we answered, do you have social account creators? No, and we probably never will. It's a good way to get them banned.
Scott said, is the SIM card training available and up to date? There's a big section on the SIM cards in the boot camp that we did.
Yeah, we've solved the problem on SIM cards. Yep. If you don't have the boot camp, we highly recommend go ahead and get the pro, and you get the boot camp in with the pro license, and go through that SIM card training. Because guys, I have used PBAs, I've used SIM cards. There's a SIM card service in, I guess, Poland or the Ukraine. Eventually they go away, and when they go away, so does the phone number. And a lot of times the guy that was in the Ukraine doing phone verifications, I think it was called PVA something, and he would overstack the SIM cards. When he first started, it wasn't a problem because he'd only put 2 people on each SIM card. I started getting re-verifications and accounts banned because he was stacking 10, 15 people on these SIM cards over time. And the socials, they caught on to it. So, keep that in mind, is if you own your SIM card, you own that Minion. Yeah, guys, we're right at hour and 15 minutes. Any other questions that we can answer? I think we've got a great product here. It takes away all the stress and anxiety of, oh, I've got to go out and create another Minion. Yep. Okay, Wayne, anything else to add?
Well, I can do a teaser if you wish. In the course that we did, particularly if you're in the UK, I talk about something really good about with SIM cards. That's,
Oh yeah. How you
yeah,
can get them for free.
yeah.
Almost free. The one thing we didn't show was the image editor and the team feature. Do y'all want to see that real quick? Okay, we're getting a couple yeses coming across. Wait, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay.
And send it back to you.
You can see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the one that we've been building. Here, where's he gone? Page 6, there it is, top marketing. Click on edit. Now, if you go to images, we can pick an image. I'll pick the original one. And then we've got image editor. And if you click it, it completely opens a tab so that you've got full screen. And it brings that image in. And you can zoom in, zoom out, all that kind of stuff. But over here, we can instantly grayscale it if you wish, or you can sepia it, which is quite good. You can do a blur, which you may or may not want to do. Emboss is quite interesting. You can invert it, you can do sharpen, etc. But you can also, down the side, you've got cropping. You can flip it, you can rotate it, you can draw on top of it. So if you want to freehand draw, you can. So you can just, draw, there we go, straight, what color you want. So red, there we go. So you can just draw straight lines, kind of thing, or you can draw freehand. There we go. Shapes, so you can do circles, rectangles. So if you wanted a box, you just click on it. What kind of stroke do you want on the box? Red. Does it need to have a fill? Yeah, we'll have it grey. And then how thick do you want the line to be? 3 is okay, and then we can draw on that as well. And then it draws that box for you. And there's also an is it on this side, an undo? So we can just undo all that nonsense. And text, we've got bold, you can left, justify, center, all the usual things. And we'll have black. And then I can click in there. And then it puts some text box in for you. And if you double click it, you can type in, his name was George. So you could say George, for example. And then once you click off, you can move it around. So you can, if you needed any text, or if you wanted to put copyright top marketing or something inside the image, you could. And you can build a mask. You can load another image in, and it will punch a hole in the image using it as a mask. So there's quite a lot of things you can do. It's pretty good. You can click on download, and it will download that image. But down here, we've got a save. So if you click save, it will save that image that you've done back into the Minion. And then it will get the original back for you. So if you wanted to now do a different one, save, and then do another different one, save. And then you just close the tab when you're finished. And that image is there. So if we click on, there's the one with it. I've just modified it with his name. So really easy to use, really cool. If you want to just add any little features into the image, you can, just by clicking on the image editor.
And another idea too is if you're doing a cutaway and you want to put a background with maybe your company's logo in there, you could certainly do a background image, or you can do like a lower third if you want to do it, or he's had his COVID shot or something. You want to put
yeah
some other image. You can really modify this. And we made it so everything works off of one photo and if you unlock that photo and you try to recreate it, you'll never get that one back. So
No.
that's why we have the lock on there. Real quickly, can you show us the team management?
Yeah, over up here, which is where your email is, you've got settings, so that if you click on settings, you can change how many rows you see at a time, where you live, and that kind of thing. But we've also got create sub account, and in here you can, if you've got a VA, Sarah Franks is a minion actually. For those of you that have seen my trendinginthenews.com, you'll see Sarah Franks, she's a minion. But if I wanted to add a VA, I could just put their first name in. So if they were called Joe Smith, I could put them in. I put their email address in, joe.smith@gmail.com, for example, and give them a password. And then the important bits are, do you want to allow this person to create minions? You might not want them to do that. Do you want to allow them to do transfers? You may or may not want them to do that. But the good thing is if you don't let them create and you don't want them to transfer, but you want them to modify and look after groups of minions. So you could say, Joe Smith's in charge of group trending in the news and the select report. So you just multi-select. So you press Control on a PC or Command on a Mac and multi-select the ones that you want and click Update. And then that login for Joe Smith, when they log in through the normal, in fact, let's do that. Let's say, what was the password I gave? Was it password? Yeah. So if I log out, and then the VA logs in, it knows that that is a sub account, and it knows that we didn't give him create access, so it can't create, but it can go into my minions. If I go into my minions, you'll see that there's only one, because we only gave Joe access to trending in the news and another one that I haven't built any minions for, or I haven't grouped them with that I gave them. So you can see that they're locked to looking after this minion and this minion only. So if you've got 3 or 4 VAs, you can create 3 or 4 different groups of minions and give them all a group each to look after, which is really good. And then simply to revoke any access, you just delete that sub. So we log out. So you'll notice that all the other options have all gone. So they can't mess up your account. They can only do what you want them to do. So if we log out and I log back in, you just simply go back to sub accounts and I would highlight Joe and I would click delete. And that's it. He's now gone and he can't log in anymore.
And we do have a feature in there that you can tell them that they cannot transfer. You've got to have a trusted VA that they're not building these accounts and then transfer them out without you getting paid for it. So
yeah,
be conscientious of what you select. Wayne, we probably need to add one more in there on the security, is where they can't modify anything. They can just use it as a database only. So they can't change passwords or phone numbers or anything on a social account. That would be in the case that you just want somebody just to do social engagement for you on these particular accounts.
Oh, so we'd need read only.
Yeah, read only. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. A couple other questions. Let's see if we can get all these questions answered real quick. Guillermo asked, will the training in the professional teaches strategies on how to use RSSmasher and all the integrations? It teaches you how to build minions, and the minions, once you have a browser open, you just add them into RSSmasher, and then you can add them into the scheduler. We've got training on both sides. Well, on RSSmasher, we have training on how to add a Twitter or Tumblr or anything like that. It's really easy. If you have Twitter open, you just open a new tab for RSSmasher and add the integration. But yes, the bootcamp shows you exactly how to build all these out, how to set them up, even the session splitter. We go into a lot of details on how to use that. Yes, Dennis, same question. Do you have instruction on the best way to create social accounts? That's why we did the 6-week training. Wayne and I poured our hearts and souls into doing that, and we gave you everything that we use. So all the tips, tricks, and techniques we use in there. And that's the reason we built it, is we're going to be training VAs on how to do this. So we needed a training course first, and then we built the database second. So now we're ready to bring on a team of VAs just to build social accounts. And we're going to probably start that later in the fall. We got a couple other projects in the way, but our VA, we're set up to manage VAs, and you can too with any of these packages here. Okay. I think we answered all the other questions. I'm going to take over the screen share, and we'll just close out today's deal. So guys, thank you for joining us on the call today. I got to be an hour and a half long. It is Minionbuilder's code is GOF, and that's all caps 50. We'll get you 50% off today. We're going to run this coupon throughout the weekend. So you got 72 hours to use the coupon. And guys, it is one-time pay. So try it out. If you don't like it, get a refund.
But to be fair, it's a massive coupon code, to be fair. Don't let it slip through your fingers, because it will disappear in 72 hours. Yeah.
And when it's gone, we've got now, we are going to do a JV Zoo launch. And like I said, it's going to be different pricing, probably a real low front end if you want to wait until then, but you're not going to get the pro image. You're not going to get the image editor. It's going to be very limited on what you get. But by the time you stack everything up, it's going to be a lot more than what you're spending today. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the call. We've enjoyed showing you our Minionbuilder software. And I'm glad you were on the Zoom call today. I hope you enjoy it and use it as much as we do. Okay. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks on the next call. Bye-bye.
Bye.